We've been continuing to meet monthly, and honestly, we have a new face just about every month.
In what year was the Bitcoin white paper published?
2008, October 31st.
What is the maximum number of Bitcoin that will ever exist?
Very slightly under 21 million.
What was your price prediction is on the day of the next halving?
I'm going to say for the next halving,
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Halving Report podcast. I am your host, Brad Mize. The price of Bitcoin is approximately $68,000 US, and there's about 782 days left until the next Bitcoin halving. Today, I'm welcoming back my Niagara Bitcoin brother, Shaun Somers, to the show. It's the fourth time you've been on, man. How you feeling? How's your morning going?
Feeling great. Morning's going pretty good so far. We've got a light snowfall here in Niagara, kind of unexpected. We had a ton of snow this winter, and now it looks like we're going to get a little bit more. That's fine. Otherwise, doing great.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I love hearing all about that snowfall back home. I mean,
It was a lot.
yeah, there was a lot. Apparently, it's like an unprecedented, or it hasn't been like this in a long time, or something, right? Like,
Absolutely. Since I was a kid, I don't really remember getting all that much and having it stay, right? Sometimes you'll come and go. We did lose most of it melting lately, but yeah, it looks like we get a tiny bit more here.
let's dive into Bitcoin Niagara, man. It's been some months since I've been back there, so I want to know, how are the meetups going? Any new members, any new faces, or anything exciting that's kind of driven anything different there?
Yeah, in terms of anything exciting, I mean, Bitcoin still is running, and we're still meeting, right? We've met continually in Niagara Bitcoin Meetup since, I guess, January of 2023. We started in November 2022. We've been continuing to meet monthly, and we have a new face just about every month. At least one new person kind of comes out every month. Maybe not like, I think maybe in January when it was a bit like last month, it was a bit snowy. I didn't get a brand new person out, but we have new people coming out all the time. We have a pretty steady 8 to 12 people showing up. Obviously more when we have guest speakers, or maybe people come from Thailand and decide to visit us, bring a friend or two. That's always good. But yeah, we have a great time. We're back meeting in Niagara Falls at the usual suspects. It's been great hanging out, talking Bitcoin, talking everything Bitcoin or not. It's been great.
And is there somewhere particular that you've seen? You said like you're seeing a new face about once a month. Like where are you seeing people coming from? Is it the actual Niagara region, or people coming from over the border, Hamilton?
Yeah, great question. Mostly, it is mostly Niagara region, I guess. We have had people who came regularly from Hamilton in the past. He actually moved to Niagara, but no, we do get a guy who comes over the border. Not so much in the winter, but he comes over. He's starting up his own meetup over in just outside of Buffalo area. So that's been fantastic. So I do like to call it the Niagara International Meetup, right? Because we do get those people coming over the border, which is always fantastic. A lot of people find us through meetup.com. They just look up Bitcoin, and if they live in Niagara, they're going to find our meetup. Other people have come from just word of mouth, people that they know, people are inviting people. It's been great.
That's really great. And what about your son? Is he still building Bitcoin conviction, or is he cashed it all in for computer games, or what's that?
Well, no, he's not. Had he bought his computer last time we spoke? I think so, right? Yeah. So he had gotten the big gains. He cashed out pretty close to the top. Got himself his computer. He's still stacking though, right? He's received part of his allowance in Bitcoin for, I guess, going on almost 4 years now, right? So he still stacks that way. And I think I might have told you before, but a long time ago, I said, well, I'm not going to give you a dollar amount in Bitcoin. You're going to get a sats amount, right? We want to think in sats. So for a while there, it was kind of expensive because he gets 7,500 sats, and that was only a portion of his allowance. And that was, when we first started, that was $2. Now it's I think it's 6 or something like that. We just looked at, or even a little bit more in Canadian. So he's doing okay, still stacking there, and every once in a while adding to the stack. So
That's great to hear. I forgot to announce the prices of Bitcoin, because this is our fourth time, and I like to track what the Bitcoin price is each time you come on. So the first time,
I'm actually anxious to hear this. It'll be interesting.
okay, well, I got mapped out in Canadian dollars too for us. So
Okay.
25K Canadian, our first podcast price. I think that was, must have been near a bottom, right around there. Then the second time was 96,000. Third time was 119,000. And today we're at 93,000 again. So
Right.
just almost back to where we were on the second podcast. So interesting. I mean, I think it's still a great trend that we're seeing.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
didn't talk when it was super high, so it doesn't actually look that bad, right? We kind of just went up and down a little bit.
yeah,
We
that's true.
avoided like 170 Canadian when we could have. If we had had a chat then, it would look kind of like those numbers would look
Yeah,
less good.
yeah. I planned this so strategically, Shaun. Yeah, no, that's great. I'm more motivated to do these pods and start building when the price is low rather than when there's all this excitement. So I'm glad to be doing this here again because this could be another bottom or around the bottom. Or what do you think? Do you think we have some lower
Well, I think it was going to be the bottom till you just jinxed it by calling that. So who knows? I mean,
I'm not a
we are definitely
superstitious
low. I
guy,
think
Shaun.
that. What's that?
I'm not a superstitious guy. I don't.
No, okay. Well, I'm not superstitious either, but I'm a little suspicious. But yeah, I think we are near the bottom. I really think that if 58K is always in play, 58K gang is undefeated. We may head back there. I don't know. I do think we're going to be down for a little bit here. Doesn't mean I'm not bullish. Doesn't mean I'm certainly not selling or giving up. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're not throwing in the towel on Bitcoin.
Yeah. I did
Um,
get some text messages during the big dip a couple weeks ago, right? I don't know if you did as well. But like people saying, should I? And these are like sort of regular people. They're not huge into Bitcoin. Certainly nobody from the meetup, but they're like, hey, should I sell? And I said, well, no, what are you talking about? Why would you sell? Like, we're on sale here. You should be looking to buy, right? Like, we are definitely experiencing an opportunity to buy at prices that are not going to be available forever, right? Sure, we might be around this price for a year, who knows, 2 years, doesn't matter. But like 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, you're going to be saying, I wish I bought more when Bitcoin was sub 100K Canadian or sub 70K US, however you want to calculate it. So keep stacking harder.
that's a great message to drive home right now. It's sometimes it's a tough sell when the prices are low like this. You see that meme where everyone's in line at 129K or whatever, and then there's no one at the 68K line. So circling back to Bitcoin Niagara, last time we saw or we highlighted the Port Colborne Gym as a key example of local merchant adoption. I just want to ask, what's the latest on payments there, and have any other businesses in Niagara come on board, or have we reached our 21 goal?
We certainly haven't reached the 21 goal. Actually, I do have, oh, well, I was going to say I had bad news. Well, if we had done this a little while ago, it would have been bad news. So we had the Port Colborne was pretty unique, I think, in Canada. We had our gas station that accepted Bitcoin, and right beside it, Flavortown, the Indian and some
Mm.
shawarma, basically a fast food takeout place. Fantastic, right? However, unfortunately, the gas station, I think the gas station business overall didn't work out there. So that business closed, right? So we kind of lost two places right there in Niagara. That's one of our sort of our gems maybe of accepting Bitcoin. But great news. Flavortown has reopened elsewhere in town. Different formats, still a takeout place, which is great. Just up the street. So they're accepting Bitcoin there. So if, you can't buy your gasoline anymore, but you can still buy delicious Indian food of various kinds, fried chicken, all different things. They got some great tasty food there, which is good. The gym's still accepting Bitcoin. Right now, of course, it's middle of winter. Our ice cream shop in Niagara Falls also probably the place if you're visiting Niagara where you're absolutely going to be able to spend your Bitcoin. They're closed right now, but looking forward to that opening up soon enough, along with the fry truck right there. I haven't been as busy pushing people to taking these things, so we're kind of still in a holding pattern. Now is the time, though. I think before the summer hits, like in the middle of summer, people are busy. They're not probably thinking, "Hey, yeah, I want to accept a whole new type of payment," right? But um, you know, in Niagara, there's definitely some tourist boost in the summer, right? So it's a little slower in January, February, March. So I got a few places on my list that I've been frequenting lately, small businesses, and I'm hoping to get them on board.
Sometimes I think about is Canada a place for merchants, or is it most people there are probably using Bitcoin as a store of value. Do you still see local adoption or payments as a necessity for Bitcoin to succeed?
Is it a necessity? I don't think so. It's certainly not a necessity in Canada. Like in terms of like, hey, if Canada's not accepting Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin's not going to succeed. No, I think that payments is going to be important for Bitcoin to succeed overall for sure. Um, and actually, I knew you were going to ask me about this and about the topic of people accepting Bitcoin. And I wanted to say, just like last weekend, I was down in Indiana, right? So took a trip down there. My son's probably going to be going to university down that way, and stopped in at a little place called Steak and Shake. Maybe you've heard of it, right? And this is not a huge countrywide chain, but this is a big chain that's doing big money. And I was able to buy 3 Bitcoin burger combos, pay with Bitcoin, seamless, quick, as fast as using any other method of payment, and it worked out very smoothly, right? So it's totally possible. The companies that have somebody on board who's going to understand Bitcoin and want to do that, they're going to keep adopting Bitcoin, I think, right? I haven't seen a lot on the Square because, of course, in the States, if you have a Square payment app, you can flip that over and accept Bitcoin easily. I haven't seen a ton of data on how many people are doing that or not, and of course, our Canadian merchants don't have that yet. I think we'll be able to really boost numbers once that's available here.
Yeah, no, it sounds promising to me. I saw the Steak and Shake. They even like imprint the Bitcoin
Yeah.
beat on the bun there. That's super cool. I'm always in favor of Bitcoin adoption. Have you gone more than once there?
I've
Have you
been,
gone?
I think that's my 4th trip to Steak and Shake,
Okay.
personally, because, I mean, it's a little ridiculous, but if I take the trip, it's a 4-hour drive. I'll stop at Steak and Shake on the way down and on the way back, even if it's just to grab a drink or something, or like a small burger, because, I want to, it's just fun to do, right? Walk into like I'm basically walking into a McDonald's and paying with Bitcoin in, not in El Salvador, and then you're not in Costa Rica. You're not somewhere where, it's in North America. It's pretty cool, right? And
Yeah.
it's not just like a person with their, and there's nothing wrong with it. If, a person with their cell phone, a small business owner accepting payments, it's like part of the kiosk, right? Cash debit, or sorry, credit card, debit, and Bitcoin accepted here. It's like right there. So, and then of course, the fact that you can get a Bitcoin burger, like you said, with it burned into the bun, that was pretty neat.
Now you mentioned, you kind of highlighted how unique it was to use Bitcoin as a payment in, like, you say Canada, America, and like I'm thinking in my head, like even Western nations. Does that kind of tie back with like Bitcoin being first adopted by rogue nations and people that can kind of make use of it first in like everyday world?
Like, well, I just think that it's rare to happen here, because the reality is people adopt Bitcoin where they need it most first, right? So if you're in a place where you can't get a bank account, you can't easily set up a credit card, payment thing, um, payment terminal or whatever, then Bitcoin is going to be a huge, huge help to you. In Canada, the reality is, as much as people might want to complain, and America too, complain about the banking system or whatever, we have a very stable and effective banking system. Tapping your credit card in Canada, right, is still faster than paying with Bitcoin, right? Like, they'll type it up and you tap it, right? Bitcoin's very fast. It's got a lot of advantages for the business owner. There's no fees for them, settles instantly, things like that. But credit card, tap and go, you know, a lot of people don't see the need to use Bitcoin, to accept Bitcoin. And if owners aren't wanting to accept Bitcoin, of course, there's nowhere for us to spend it. And tons of people, I think too many people, are scared to spend their Bitcoin, or they don't want to spend it, right? Because, oh no, it's best money. I want to spend the worst money. But like, which is a great, overall, you can't really argue with that. Why not spend these dollars, which are losing value, keep my Bitcoin, which is gaining in value sometimes. But I think that, getting that economy going, of people seeing that you can use Bitcoin easily and cheaply and privately with things like Lightning, I think that's going to do a lot to get more people interested in getting Bitcoin, whether it's savings or spending technology.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I'm super excited. Are you using, are most merchants in Niagara using Coinos?
Yeah. At least
All of
the ones that I'm aware of are using Coinos to accept Bitcoin. Yeah. And I mean, most of them, that's because that's what I recommended when I helped them get set up. But the gym, for example, they orange pilled themselves and got everything set up, and they're using Coinos as well. It is really easy. Obviously, if it's just one person taking payments, then any Lightning enabled Bitcoin wallet will do, right? But if you got multiple people, Coinos works because you can have it on their phone. They can't spend the balance, but they can receive and things like that. It is
Awesome.
it is really easy to use.
Yeah. Definitely. What about like the greater Canada, like compared to Niagara in terms of how the Bitcoin scene is developing? How does Niagara developing compared to the rest of Canada, would you think?
Well, I mean, we've still got a long way to go to catch up to like Vancouver. If you go to btcmap.org, I think you'll still see 40, 50, 60 establishments that are accepting Bitcoin there. Um, so there's a much, I mean, they do have a much bigger and longer standing Bitcoin meetup scene out there. I know they get dozens or sometimes even 100 people out to some of their meetups. So you got more people who are out there talking to businesses and things like that. But they also been doing it longer, right? So um, we've got people around here that are talking to their businesses, to different people, and we're sort of like still planting seeds, and we'll see where it goes. Right now, especially when the price is really down, you're not going to see it nearly as much. But maybe once the price starts going up. Again, even though it's much better for the business to be accepting Bitcoin when the price is low, right? Then in the future, that the ice cream cone that I bought is going to be worth double or triple. Um, you know,
Yeah,
just like when you're buying, you want to buy when the price is low. You really want to sell your goods when the price is low too. But
right.
I think as interest gains again, as price goes up, I think we'll see more businesses on board. And, even if it's just businesses that are interested in holding it, or like business owners who are interested in holding it, and telling people about it, whether or not they're really taking a whole lot of transactions in, might not be the most important thing, but I think it's just cool to get the exposure out there.
Definitely. And then we have the Tahinis as well, who's very pro Bitcoin, but I don't think they're not into the whole using it. They're just all about holding it for whatever tax purposes, and just making things simple, I guess.
Well, they're
Is
holding it for their investment purposes, right? They want their company to have a solid foundation, right, of a treasury that's held in Bitcoin. Um, I think Tahini. Oh, I know that Tahini's as a franchise model, right? So there's a lot of franchisees who may not be as enthusiastic about Bitcoin. The head companies is holding that Bitcoin, is pro Bitcoin, and I think that's okay, right? I think you're always going to have, like, right now we do have, and I think we'll always, for at least for a while, we'll still have those three kinds of businesses, right? Some businesses are gonna want it, like Tahinis are gonna just think that holding Bitcoin and not having cash in their bank account, but at least having some Bitcoin exposure is a good thing for the company, which I think is true for every company. But they're actively doing that. Other places will be like, well, I'd like to have more business, and if there's Bitcoiners that want to spend their Bitcoin, I'll gladly take it, but I want to convert it instantly into dollars, right? And that's what a lot of the people with Square terminals, for example, can do, right? You can accept the Bitcoin and have dollars go right into your account. They don't have to be orange pilled at all. But then you also have businesses like maybe Canal Side Cones and St. Catharines. They want to accept the Bitcoin. They also want to hold the Bitcoin, right? So they're doing both, which I think is great. But there's nothing wrong with doing any of those three things. I just think, obviously, I think if you're going to hold on to your Bitcoin, whether it's personally as the owner or as on your company's books, then your business is going to thrive long term.
I saw that they were supposed to be coming to Welland or something like that on their website way back. Has
Oh
Tahini
yeah. So the
Niagara?
way back here, and I actually talked to Ali himself at a meetup. I saw him, and had told me about Welland, and I a couple times on Twitter, I said, "When's Welland happening?" We had the Tahini's franchise in Fort Erie, so it's not that far away. So I think that
Okay.
one sort of took the place there. Maybe in the future, Welland will get a Tahini's. That'd be a little more convenient for me, but I do get a chance to stop in every once in a while in Fort Erie, and grab a
Okay.
delicious Tahini's shawarma.
Yeah. I'll head up 40. Erie traffic ain't bad going that way.
No, exactly. If you're down there.
Exactly. Beats going the other way. Um, s- so Bitcoin spot ETFs, want to ask you about what your thoughts on them and how they've matured and if they've helped or hindered Bitcoin decentralization over the past year or so.
So overall, I mean, the ETFs are maturing. I think that they've been a benefit in a lot of ways. I think if you look at our big recent drawdown of, what is it, 46-ish%. I'm not sure what it was in Canadian, but probably between 45 and 50% drawdown, right? I think that having the ETFs really helped there, right? Because the people who are investing in ETFs are oftentimes doing that for retirement, oftentimes doing that as part of pension plans, or different companies are buying that. And they have much more of a buy and hold mentality versus the retail person who's like, I'm just I'm gonna buy some Bitcoin. Some people, like you said, the people who texted me or you, hey, should I sell? There's a lot of benefits to self custody, but if they have it and they can sell it quickly or whatever, get rid of it, that can be a downside when the price is dumping and they don't have conviction. Whereas if you got it in an ETF, maybe it's in your TFSA, maybe it's in something else where it's you don't really have any your RSP, no real incentive to sell it right now. You have that long term mindset. It's probably better, and then they're going to keep holding it. I think the institutions have been doing a lot of buying during this dip, which is good for them, but not good for decentralization. So, like you're talking about, um, yeah, there's definitely a lot of Bitcoin going to these, like being held by these companies, like obviously owned by individuals to an extent, at least the IOU of Bitcoin. But yeah, it's definitely it's centralizing a lot of Bitcoin with some custodians and whatnot. At the end of the day, though, I'm not too worried about that. Doesn't having that much Bitcoin doesn't really give them a ton of power over Bitcoin, and it's going to ebb and flow, right? There's going to people are going to keep collecting more Bitcoin. People want to keep selling their Bitcoin cheap to BlackRock or to Strategy. I guess that's fine, but I think it's important for individuals to do our part and collect as much as we can too.
Yes, I recently saw like it was like a time frame video, and it was just kind of showing how individual ownership had peaked, and then now we're seeing a lot of going to these companies now. But like you said, people own it, but with that IOU. So it kind of depends on how you look at it. But I mean, regardless, Bitcoin is far still superior to the old financial system. So
Right.
there's no throwing in the towel yet. uh Canadian regulations, American regulations, we're waiting on the Clarity Act. Things are tightening up a little bit. Has this affected any of the privacy focused tools that you've been focused or using?
Well, other than things like I would say, I mean, I don't use like nothing that I regularly use. I guess so. Not the current things going on there. During the Biden administration, some of that choke point really emphasis there when arresting the Samurai devs caused Sparrow to get rid of Whirlpool off of the Sparrow software as well. So that was something that I didn't use it all the time, but I certainly was familiar with it. And now it's no longer an option for me, even if I was ever going to want to do that. So, not great, I guess. I think privacy is a human right. I don't think that there's, especially as we see places like France, in particular, where attacks on crypto holders, Bitcoin holders are in the news. Certainly, it happens everywhere else, but there was a couple big cases in France recently with some corruption involved there. Having that, not because anyone wants to evade taxes, but just not having a record of what you own, I think is an important thing to try to maintain. So as much as privacy is super important, and we don't want to see anything impacting that.
Hopefully we'll have some giving regulation, and that still protects personal freedom and sovereignty over your finance, the digital assets,
Yeah, I
Bitcoin.
don't know. So I thought maybe the Clarity Act had something, and this is not. I don't pay ultra close attention to these things. One of them had like a guarantee that you'll be able to use your own wallet. I can't, or like self custody. I'm not sure if that was going to be part of the Clarity Act or had been taken out. I'm not really sure, but I think the idea of being able to have self custody protected is really important. Um, because even if it's not private, uh, perfectly private or whatever, like we still have lots of options for privacy, like Lightning and Liquid, and Arc is coming out and sort of developing those kinds of things. But just the idea of you need to be able to hold your own custody and not be considered a criminal for having self custody, I think that's really important.
Yeah, definitely. Even if you
Like
didn't make
Europe
it,
is not doing well with that.
are they struggling with that? Some countries.
Well, there was definitely some stuff they talk about unhosted wallets, and should you be like different things there. If you're sending to an unhosted wallet, there's a lot of scrutiny.
Oh,
This
like
is going
charging.
back a little bit there, but like a lot of some certain like bad actors, I think, really don't like the idea that Bitcoin is something you can hold without a custodian, without somebody keeping an eye on you, right? Like at the end of the day, stocks, will make people wealthy, but really, they're perfectly tracked. They're held by, if they ever want to freeze them or freeze any of your spending accounts, they can. But with Bitcoin, nobody self custody Bitcoin. No one's going to freeze your accounts. No one's going to be able to seize the money from you, right? Without a lot of extra work that totally different from the regular banking system.
Definitely. It's, there's nothing before Bitcoin that really, that gave you that freedom to do. So, we got to fight to, maintain that right. So, I'm with you on that one. Let's keep fighting for Canada. Hopefully we can have some positive regulation around that. I was going to ask you, you're on this, anti-fiat mission of yours, right? So I'm wondering,
Yeah.
what, what are some other things, regular people can do to, beyond stacking sats, to, end fiat? Or just,
So to end fiat, that's a
yeah,
great question. So in general, so you want to not use the fiat system as much as you can, right? Now it seems like, well, how are you going to do that besides stacking Bitcoin? There are ways you could do it. Actually, since you asked, if I was never in Bitcoin, if I hadn't discovered Bitcoin and anything like that, one of the main ways that I would be looking to destroy fiat would be, where is it here? Whoop, that book right there. It's called Becoming Your Own Banker. Basically, like, trying not to do business with banks is really important, right? So as you know, or as many people watching this will know, if I deposit $1,000 into the bank, how much money can they then go lend out to people, right? I mean, I think there might actually not be a limit right now, but like for a long time, it would have been $10,000, right? You put in $1,000 into the bank can then lend out $10,000 to other people, right? Through the process of fractional reserve banking. And there's nothing more fiat than the idea of fractional reserving like that, where the banks are basically able to create money out of nothing, um, thereby, making everyone poorer. Um, Except for maybe not the person who gets the money right there, right then. That person's happy. He's got an extra, whether it's $1,000 or $10,000, and they get to spend it before the prices go up, right? But if is this the fiat system of money creation out of nothing, is what really drives inflation. It is inflation, and it's not good for humanity. It's not good for anything. So you really want to avoid anything where you're expanding the money supply. So taking a loan from the bank where they just made it up out of nothing, that is not good. So try not to do that. So if you can take a loan, a different kind of loan, like you can if you're doing infinite banking, then then that's better overall.
yeah. I remember like learning about fractional reserve banking for the first time, and it was such a epiphany for me. And I was just like, oh man, this is so corrupt. I'm like,
Yeah,
give anybody this ability, and obviously you're going to become wealthy, right? Like when you control the money system like that. So yeah, when I heard about Bitcoin, it was just like, it didn't take me long to, like, oh, this is the answer to kill this corrupt system. So that's
I
one
mean,
side.
the other thing you could do, and a lot of people have done in the past as well, would be like gold and silver, right? Saving with gold and silver, and you can self custody gold and silver. It's got a few negative things. I certainly don't recommend it nowadays, although you've done super well if you're with gold and silver over the past year, past little bit. I think over the past 5 years, you would even have beaten Bitcoin if you had purchased gold 5 years ago. You're ahead, not 3 years ago, and not like 7 years ago, but if exactly 5 years ago, and obviously like very recently, you're doing better. So those kind, like the hard money overall is the way we've tried to fight against the fiat system, against of that throughout the years. People have done that. The only problem, of course, is that gold and silver can't scale for a digital age. We need Bitcoin to be able to, make cross-border payments, all those different things. Bitcoin's better in every way, uh, except for price over the past year.
Right, right. Isn't there like a property of money that's some sort of that gold wins in? Like, I don't know. Uh, what one of the
But
properties?
when gold is superior to Bitcoin in its track record, right? Gold has had a 6,000 year track record of being money, and it's accepted worldwide. Um, Probably you could find more. That'd be interesting. Like in terms of spending at a store, I think you actually do better with Bitcoin. But you can certainly you do okay with gold. There's really not that, other than the fact that it's physical, right? And you can hold it in your hand. The problem with is, of course, you can hold a gold coin or a gold bar in your hand. How do you know it's real? Right? You really don't, right?
Right.
Whereas if I have Bitcoin, I am 100% sure if you send Bitcoin to my Blue Wallet or something, or Nunchuck, that's real Bitcoin. I have zero doubt that it's counterfeit, right? Even if I bought straight from the, Canada Post, a gold coin, I'm 99.9% sure that coin's real, but you never know. Certainly if I just buy it from a store or anything else. That's a major risk.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking to me about gold now, and they're going to go buy physical gold after seeing the price go up. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, you're going to
Oh,
chase it, hitting all these new all-time highs. I don't know.
that was a bit of a top signal, right? And one of the things, I don't know if you saw, of course you did too, but like just that's the whole gold and silver run up just makes me that much more bullish, right? For Bitcoin, because look at the size of the gold market and how much it went up so quickly. So if gold can go from, I don't even remember how, like $20 trillion asset to 30, 20, 35 or whatever. Like, I think when it dropped, gold lost the entire market cap of Bitcoin in a day, right? So if they can just have a little drop and lose the entire market cap of Bitcoin in a day, Bitcoin can double, Bitcoin can triple, Bitcoin can 5x in the next 5-10 years easily, right? Easily when people realize that it's the superior option.
Yes, yes. I'm hoping it's going to be a shallow winter, a shallow Bitcoin winter here, as Sailor said. And these ETF buys kind of maintains price, and we don't see as big as dips as we've seen. Although really didn't think we were going to see under 70 or even under 80 again. But here we
I was
are.
calling 78 actually. I'm like, I think 78 is going to be right around the bottom. I think we would hit 76, 75, but 78, that sort of general idea. Yeah, obviously I was just wrong, just totally
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. A lot of us were wrong, Shaun. A lot of us were
It's
wrong.
all good.
So just looking at global events, we see the Bitcoin development in El Salvador, we see Bitcoin development over here in Thailand. Have any of these international meetups or organizations influenced in what you're doing with Niagara BTC?
Things like just the El Salvador, just the Berlin, the project going on in Berlin is always kind of an inspiration. Like just the fact that they've grassroots got this whole little town, except so many places they're accepting Bitcoin, right? Um, I'd love to see that for Welland, Port Colborne, one of these little towns to sort of become a Bitcoin destination. That'd be awesome. Thailand having the Bitcoin Center there, super cool. Definitely still looking to visit there someday. And just having that as a place where people can come and learn, or as a base for people to go out and teach things like that. Bitcoiners to be able to show up and hang out, all that stuff. Very, very cool. Would love to have a Bitcoin center down here in Niagara. Not sure how we would do that just yet. Maybe Bitcoin price has to go quite a bit up, and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, it's just super cool seeing all of these places in the world where Bitcoin is, really becoming part of the community. And I love.
Well, I do hope to see you out here. I felt like a whole bunch of people were saying they were going to come out here when I had Jimmy Costro come there in Welland, and then I don't think I've seen anyone's come out from what I know.
How long ago was that? It was like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I'm sorry, I can't just go to Thailand at the job. It's around the entire other side of the world, right? Like, it's a bit of an
Fair enough.
endeavor. I
All
can't just
right.
stop in for the weekend.
That's true. That's true. I would say come for at least 2 weeks, or else the flight and the travel is definitely not worth it.
Exactly. And what's the
Or
best
10,
time of
10
year to
days.
come visit Thailand?
It's going to be December, January, February. Yeah.
So, kind of missed that.
You kind of,
I know it's going to be hot there no matter
yeah.
what. I'm not trying to come when it's 110 degrees with 100% humidity.
Yeah. It'll get like as low as like maybe 16 to 20 degrees Celsius, during September. And that's about as cold as it gets. But yeah, hopefully see you out here one of these times. You got to check out this building, man. Now they have this podcast room finished.
Okay.
So that's available for people to make it free. They have actually way more international Bitcoiners coming through every single day. So yeah, it's just constant moving over here. Now they're doing they did the Bitcoin marathon last year, the half marathon, as if you remember Jimmy talking about that. Now this year they did like a hike. They're doing an ultra marathon and then the regular half marathon again.
Okay. So, of those different things, how many of them did you do?
Dude, I cannot run like that. You know what an ultra marathon is? I don't even
I
know.
realized that, but there was a half marathon in there.
Okay, even a half marathon, it's like 20 kilometers.
Yeah, you
That's a
can just
lot,
like
man.
lightly jog.
Lightly jog. Yeah, I
I
don't
did
know.
5 kilometers one time in a row. It was ridiculous. Never doing that again.
You did 5 kilometers?
Yeah.
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 Okay, so
Okay.
years ago I did a couple 5 kilometer runs too. It was cool going to website, tracking what place I got. But
There you
uh,
go.
yeah, no, I don't know. I think I was just gonna crush my knees, crush my hips. I'm trying to get back in the gym. I've been doing yoga today. Actually before this, I did a tennis lesson. Trying to be
Whoa.
more active, but yeah, you can do things cheap here, so it's great. You can pay like $20 for a lesson instead of, I don't even know what you pay in Canada for a private tennis lesson. Maybe like $100.
Probably at least $50, $60 to get started. Yeah. And It depends on your level, of course, I think.
That's true too. Yeah. Is there anything, any Bitcoin developments in the last 10 months that you think, should be highlighted more? Do you want to, or give attention for newcomers?
Like something like Lightning. I was just thinking about this the other day, or maybe I was listening to a podcast. I was talking about, like, I can't remember the last time a Lightning transaction I was making failed. Right. So when I first started using Lightning, sometimes like the transaction would fail, like it wouldn't work, like you wouldn't get a path or route or whatever. Everything just kind of works now. Right. Things are just, even though there's not like a ton of groundbreaking new things, although like ARC, when I was at the Canadian Bitcoin conference, does seem super interesting. Talking with a guy, I went out to the Waterloo Bitcoin Meetup during the summer there. Um, got a chance to talk to Matthew up there. He's doing some developing work on this. Looks really cool, ARC. I know Bull Bitcoin's interested in implementing it potentially other places in terms of like another layer 2 option. I certainly am not technical enough to explain exactly how it's going to work, but like it's always looking to solve some of the issues that Lightning does have in terms of channel opens and things there. But it's another way of privately transacting and rapidly transacting using Bitcoin. Speaking of Bull Bitcoin, the Bull Bitcoin wallet is now, I think in the past 10 months, now fully available to iOS and Android. I do like that wallet a lot. You got the Liquid, the Lightning, super simple to use, integrates to your Bull Bitcoin exchange account if you want to. And if you're in one of the many countries where Bull Bitcoin can operate, which is tons now, like most of Europe, Colombia, Mexico, obviously Canada, not the United States. It's perfect for that, but it's also a great wallet for use by anyone in the world, right? You don't have to have the Bull Bitcoin exchange to use it, but it's a pretty slick wallet. Looks cool. It's got all the features I think you really need, whether it's tying into your hardware wallet or just stacking sats through Lightning or Liquid. It's great. Yeah, I guess that's what I got for the past 10 months. And there's so much more Bitcoin content out there if you want to learn about it. Too many podcasts to keep track of, but there's going to be something that interests people that you can learn about and sort of always be learning about Bitcoin. I think a lot of people should be doing that.
And did you just have the recent Bitcoin meetup there?
We just had a Bitcoin meetup 2 nights Wednesday night, whatever that was, 4 nights ago. Yes.
How'd it go?
It was great. Yeah, we had 9 people out there. Some great conversation about Bitcoin, different things. Mostly, that was actually mostly regulars. We had one guy who came out for the first time. He actually was out. He came from sort of a more regular attender at there's a St. Catharines sort of crypto meetup, right? Crypto focused meetup that's been going on for a while, even longer than our meetup. But he knows some of our people from there. I went out there and went to their meetup one time to bring the Bitcoin only message. So he decided to come out to ours and check it out. So he was able to learn a little bit more about Bitcoin self custody. Some of the options there, which is pretty good.
If you were to have a dream guest at the Niagara Bitcoin Meetup, who would it be?
Oof, besides Brad Miner coming out again. A dream guess. Let's see. That's a good one. I would say, well, if probably I would say like if Francis Souliat from Bull Bitcoin was in the area and he came out, that would be huge. Obviously, I'm a big Bull Bitcoin enthusiast, but also different exchange. But if Adam from Bitcoin Well was in the area, I think that'd be cool because Bitcoin Well has been super great to the meetup, still sponsoring us. We get swag to give away every meetup. Definitely an amazing place to buy your Bitcoin from. Great people, great self custody only option. If you're in the States and you want to buy Bitcoin Well is absolutely where you should be going first. So that'd be really cool. I don't know.
Are you getting ready for your
Satoshi available? Will he stop by for a meetup?
Okay, that's a good one. Satoshi, yeah. Maybe he'll show up in a mask or something.
Or maybe he's been there. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, man. I think he was there when it was Riverbank. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be cool. No, I mean, obviously, I'm thrilled no matter who comes out to the meetup, whether it's a person who's brand new, a person who's more of a quote unquote big name. I'm just happy to have people out there talking Bitcoin. It is. I would like to, it would be good to this year have something where we have a guest speaker once again, right? So when Jimmy came out, that was awesome. We had a Christian talked about mining. One time, and we also had Guatemala, Rudy from Guatemala. Rudy was there from Guatemala. We had a big event and talked about what's going on at Bitcoin Lake. So having those speaker events with somebody there to talk is pretty cool too. So maybe I'll try and arrange somebody. My dream is for the Bitcoin to get bigger, the meetup to get bigger, right? And have more people have the chance to learn and hang out, talk Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Specifically who's there.
All great choices. All great choices. I was thinking, yeah, maybe when I'm back this summer, if Jimmy's coming out again, maybe I can try to convince him to come again. We can do like an
Yeah,
update thing or something,
be
but
fun.
we could, make it bigger or better if we had more time to plan. Cause I know
Yeah, more
last,
time would be great. That's the thing when you got we have like a week, like, hey, he's coming. I'm like, all right, let's go. Which I'm always happy to do too, right? Anybody who's in the Niagara Falls area, even if it's not the third Wednesday of the month, if you're a Bitcoiner and you're in the area, hit me up, Niagara BTC on Twitter or at Shaun Somers on Twitter, and we can make a impromptu meetup, right? Whether if it's a summertime, we'll go hang out at the ice cream place, buy our ice cream with Bitcoin, or we'll find a whether it's usual suspects or some other local establishment, have a chance to get together. People will show up. People are excited to meet Bitcoiners.
yeah, definitely. It's awesome meeting like-minded people. I was thinking I should be spending a lot more time here at the BLC. I'm on the other side of the town though, but with how many people are coming through right now, I feel like I should just post up here and start meeting so many Bitcoiners coming through. But Shaun, I got this. They do a lot of recording up here. The Bitcoin, the BLC Thai channel is growing pretty rapidly on Facebook and their podcast, spreading Bitcoin adoption in a different language. Very, has a lot of strong impact here. But they got this little bell here, so I was thinking we can make use of this somehow and do like a 10 Bitcoin trivia questions. And when you get them right, I'll give you a little.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I'm down for it. Whatever you got. They're not. I do
It's
enjoy
not. It's
trivia.
nothing
I
crazy.
do enjoy Bitcoin. So between the
Okay,
two,
you know what? Maybe we'll keep it simple this time, and then next time we'll make it a little bit harder.
do your
Some more.
worst.
Do your worst. No, we're not going to do my worst. But all right, let's start a timer here. Hold on a second.
Are you doing this with other guests? Are you going to have me competing against other people?
You know what? I think this might be the inception episode of the trivia here.
Bitcoin rapid fire with Brad.
We got to keep it exciting, and entertaining. We'll see how fast you can get these questions right.
All right.
Are you ready?
Go.
Who is the synonymous creator of Bitcoin?
Satoshi Nakamoto.
In what year was the Bitcoin white paper published?
2008, October 31st.
What is the maximum number of Bitcoin that will ever exist?
Very slightly under 21 million.
What was written in the Coinbase message of the Genesis block?
Chancellor on the brink of bailout. Chancellor on the brink of second bailout for banks.
What is the name of the event that cuts Bitcoin block reward roughly in half every 4 years?
I would call it the halving. Some people say halvening, but they're wrong.
Approximately how many minutes does it take to mine one Bitcoin block?
On average, 10 minutes, every 10 minutes.
What was the first real world item purchased with Bitcoin?
2 large Papa John's pizzas.
And what year did the famous Bitcoin pizza transaction happen?
Ooh, crap. I think it's 2011. 10? 2010.
10.
Crap. That was my instinct.
What is the smallest unit of Bitcoin called?
Satoshi.
What consensus mechanism does Bitcoin use to secure the network?
Proof of work.
All right, minute 13. We got through those 10 questions.
With one wrong answer, though. I wanted to say 2010. I thought it was too obvious. I don't know what it was. They're good. Rapid fire.
2010, May 22nd. Yeah, that was fun. But those are pretty simple. Those
were easy. Yeah, you got to pump this up.
Got to pump it up for next time. That's all right. Yeah. Or maybe I'll just compare you to other people with the same question.
Maybe I should get questions to ask you.
You want to? Oh, but you know what? Let's open it up. You can ask you.
No, I don't. I meant trivia questions, but I don't know. The only question I was going to ask you is just obviously how things are going there in terms of some Thailand Bitcoin adoption. Obviously, you've talked about the learning center there and whatnot. Are there places locally where you can spend your Bitcoin?
Yeah, there are a few places. Mostly this one, just the Smoothie Bowl place. Sunflower Cafe actually is the name of it. That's the only place I really go, but I know that there are a handful of other places that you can spend your Bitcoin. There's even like one of those indoor golf places you can spend your Bitcoin that's newly opened. And then the other things I kind of already mentioned about Bitcoin Learning Center and how they're ramping up the events and kind of bringing Bitcoin into the real world, trying to make it fun with these marathons and trail runs and help these underprivileged children up in the mountains. I don't know. They said they set up some miners up there. The continuous development of the Bitcoin Learning Center here in Chiang Mai is kind of what stands out to me, and the amount of people that keep coming through and the ramping up of events and talks and meetups. And actually the Thai community, because that's huge, right? Like, there's 70 million people here in Thailand. I'm sure there's a couple of million people involved in the crypto scene. I'm not sure how many people are like, completely orange pilled, stacking sats in self custody mode. And that's what the Bitcoin Learning Center is all about, which obviously resonates with your and Bitcoin Niagara's vision. So there's some alignment there, but yeah, it's developing quite quickly. It's great to see. And like I said, the BLC podcast is like, they've literally like doubled from like December to January in terms of Facebook followers, like 12 to
Nice.
24,000. So rapid growth there. So that's great to see.
Glad to hear it. I hope that you
Yeah.
see things continue to expand. It's,
Yeah.
anywhere that Bitcoin is growing is good, but obviously you're in Thailand. I got other friends in Thailand, and I know that it's going to be a big help to that country and that community there.
So like I said in the beginning of the episode, it's 782 days left until the next Bitcoin halving. I wanted to ask you what your price prediction is on the day of the next halving.
On the day of the next halving, oh, so not like later this year or anything. I remember one of our some of our earlier ones. We had a very bullish estimates for like later in the year and different things or highs. The next halving, so 708 is what is that? Going to be 28?
Yep, 2028. Approximately probably around April of 2028.
Yeah.
And just to some context, the Genesis block obviously was 0 0. Then at the first halving it was $12. Second halving it was 650. Third halving it was 8,700. Fourth halving it was at 63,500. So what do
Yeah,
you
I
think?
mean, oof. It seems so far away, but really it's not, right? It's going to come upon us fairly quickly. So I don't want to be too bullish, and it could be the lower sentiment of the current things right now. I mean, 2 years from now, even if we have a pretty much a bear year right now through 2026, I really do feel like things are going to start moving up in 2027, 2028. There's a lot of bullish things happening. And there's going to be a lot of money printing, especially in the United States and places where they just need to print more money. So I'm going to say for the next halving, I'm going to say 269,420.
Okay, I knew the 420 was coming. 269,000. Wow.
Does that
Okay,
seem
sounds
low? Is that too low? Am I bearish? Maybe we've
nah.
dipped. Maybe
It's
we're
good.
dipped. Maybe they were on the way down there. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. But I guess if we're at the halving,
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's a good estimate considering like how much it's up from each previous halving day. I think it's a good estimate. Yeah. And other than that, I should ask you this trivia question as well about how much Bitcoin will be mined every block after the next halving.
after the next halving, that's not even a trivia question. That's a math question, right?
1.56, and we'll see you with your 1.56 glasses on at the next
Yeah,
halving.
yeah. I don't know how we'll do that one, but I do have my 3.125 classes. Yeah, yeah.
Those are awesome. And did you get any more? Have you got anything new in terms of Bitcoin books or paraphernalia or anything like that?
Books. I picked up a copy of The Big Print at the Bitcoin conference and the Canadian Bitcoin conference. I got that directly from Larry Lepard, paid with Bitcoin. Lightning, obviously. I got him to sign it. Got a little chance to chat with him. That was pretty cool. I have the Bushido of Bitcoin by Alex Svetsky. I still have that's on the next to read. Looking forward to that. I'm not very good at reading, but I'm working my way through. I know how to read, and I just find myself distracted by things like Twitter and Nostr and anything else that gets those kinds of things. Listening to podcasts, so it's sometimes I'm not the best at sitting down and actually reading. Got to work on that. But yeah, those things are good. Yeah. Otherwise, that's probably it. I guess I don't have a lot of other nothing nothing too crazy. Trying
Cool,
out new
cool.
wallets all the time. If there's something new that comes out, I like to try out new wallets. Not so much hardware wallets, but I have had a chance to help people set up a few hardware wallets I'd never done before. So that's pretty fun. And of course, still setting up the CoinKite cold cards with people who need help with that. So good times.
Awesome, man. I'm going to thank you for doing this today, Shaun. It's been about an hour. I think we had a great conversation. If you have any last words, if not, maybe you can just tell folks where to follow you and learn more.
Well, I mean, my last words will just be to stay bullish. Don't buy the dip while the price is on sale, while Bitcoin's on sale. Keep buying. This is a buying opportunity. If you got a DCA, raise your DCA. If you're just holding and you've watched the price go down, make a purchase. Start a DCA. Don't let this low price um, pass you by. Too many people, I think, just buy and hold. Like buying and holding is fine, but you got to add to it when you get the chance, right? Now is that chance. So that's my advice to people. That's my message to people. Come to a meetup. If there's a meetup close to you, take a look around. If you'd love to talk to Bitcoiners, and there is no meetup close to you, somehow start Bitcoin meetup. Make a profile on X, or go on, pay for a couple months on meetup.com. Talk to other Bitcoin meetup hosts. We'd be happy to help promote your meetup, things like that. There's nothing like talking to Bitcoiners, even if it's not about Bitcoin. You're finding the best people, hanging out with them monthly or every other month whenever you can make it out, which is great. If anyone wants to get in contact with me, if you need help with getting your hardware wallet set up or anything, you can go to lock8bitcoin.com, or just find me on Twitter, or come up to a meetup and talk to me in person. So any of those.
Awesome. I appreciate you putting yourself out there for helping hand for those who need it. Thanks for doing this today, Shaun. Thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Great to see you.